So I asked myself a question just to see if myself would answer me. So I asked myself, okay, so what if your purpose was just to replicate someone else and not be yourself? And not saying my purpose personally, just like human beings in general, like the human race, right? And this just stems from, the scripture, being made in God's image. And then, of course, my mind's like, what's the image? And I just go through those little things. So that's what I'm saying. Like, what if we were just made to replicate someone else's images, like perhaps God or the God of the Old Testament, being made from someone's image? That's why authenticity make you stand out. Then you think about the movie Matrix, and then standing out. So like, just to say, like, standing out isn't always viewed as a good thing. It's always it goes into more so like perception as well. When you're authentic, some people will accept you for what you are, and then some people may deny your authenticity because it may, just shine some lights on some things that they may be deflecting or, avoiding in their life. So boom. So then I'm just like, okay. So it's like thinking about like our very first picture. I just like fantasize and think about like the stars and the different nebulas and things like that. But I'm like, okay, but our first physical visual image was through an ultrasound. And then, okay, an ultrasound is just sound waves that send high frequencies through the body as echoes, and the echoes just bounce off the organs, you know. And then with the computer and technology now, they're able to look at the echoes and turn the echoes into pictures and videos now to download them on the computer to get a more visual per a visual of what the body's doing inside. So boom. So I'm like, okay, so ultrasound. So first what got my attention is sound, and then I'm like, ultra would just be like an adjective, to explain the type of sound. So then boom. So I'm just stemming off from there. And then, so where do we start? So I was like, okay, so sound is also a form of light, just as light is a form of sound. Sound is audible. You can feel sound. Some can smell it. You can hear it. It goes into like all of our senses, like temperature. That goes in, like, sound transforms. That's just pretty much what. And then boom, I'm like, okay, so the ultrasound, even though it's uh, a tool, it also uses part of the digestive system because you need a full bladder, which uses the kidneys, and an empty stomach. And I'm like, okay, so that uses parts of the digestive system, and da 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 da. So then going back to where we at. Okay, sound, and then being light. So I'm like, okay, light, it's got its polarity. So you got your negative and your positive light. So I'm like, okay, dark light and then white light. And then let's see. I might get a little lost with these arrows. Okay, dark light. Okay, then I'm like, okay, when people say, oh, you're photogenic, literally like your genes are light. But just like, okay, just thinking about all the different forms. And then like that movie Little Shop of Horrors came in my head because I'm like, photo, plant, man equals like star, man plus plant equals star, just like different gene mutations. So here what we would have is like a shared light between parents. So this would be X and Y. Just stemming back from where I was talking about, like with the video game and the controllers with the parent and la 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 la. So the dark circle would be mother, white circle, white light would be father. And then so you think about it, mother and father come together, they make a shared light, which would be like represent, like if you look at it like the moon and the sun, night and day, or like an eclipse. That's the coming together, the two lights coming together to make one, right? So it's like, okay, so they share light or share genes or DNA, however you want to look at it. And then just looking at then okay, so you get 50% from your mother, 50% from your father, and then what I got going on. So if the mother creates by herself, Partha, she'll automatically get a daughter. The dad tries to do it through science, he's gonna give himself a son. So that's why I got A and B and da 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 da. And what we got? So I was asking myself again, so did light want to separate from the darkness with the child there? So say like if father wanted an exact replication of father, so that means no dark light, just all white light. You got to find a way to extract the dark, or you can look at it vice versa. Darkness wants to be alone, so a way to extract the lightness from the dark. So I was asking, like, so did light want to separate from the darkness? So I'm like, in real time, black and white broke up. Okay, so I started looking at them like a relationship. They got together, had a kid, and then they had. Alright, so my phone keeps going out on this dang on camera. But anyways, so say like the mama and the daddy broke up, right? They already had a baby. And then the dad was like, I'm gonna take the baby. The mom was like, no, you're not. I'm gonna keep the baby. So they fighting over custody, right? So then eventually the dad was like, you know what? Keep the baby. I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna make my own baby. Like, how you can't make your own baby? Da 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 da. But, oh yeah, I can. This, that, and the other. So he went crazy like a mad scientist, mixing everything that he knew to mix, like all the substances and the elements, and boom. And he finally made his replica. But that's just me just messing around. So that's what I said. And then or this baby here in itself can look at a way like the start of time, the chronological clock, if you want to look at it like that, or when your pineal gland comes to be, when the nucleus is activated in the body, however you want to look at it, when you come to life, like your machine's coming on. So that's just like my thought process from here. And then I was just looking as well as darkness as a door, as a portal, an opening to go through, and just getting that concept from looking at the Xbox controller, and how I just did it like the Catholics, like Father, Son, Holy Spirit, like this. So I'm just like, but X is parent, and then I'm like, but the son went through the mother. And some stories, perverted. I ain't gonna go, I'm just gonna stay on the surface with this. But just saying, like, the son went through the mother went through the son. La la la. So I was like, darkness can be seen as a door. And then the light, or the white light, can be seen as an intruder to the darkness. And then think about like inside the body, inside like a normal setting in the body, you're just like la 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 la, minding your business, and then this intrusion comes in. And then if you don't have awareness of that intrusion, like a lot of things can go, south real fast. Your body starts sending different signals off, and you may start reacting to certain things, and your body, just certain things can happen. As far as like becoming aware of what you were not already aware to. So I'm like, in a way that light can be seen as intrusive. And just think about like waking up for the first time in the day. You going from darkness to light. You're going to squint first. Most of the time, clear your eyes and, ease your eyes into the light. If that makes sense. So boom. Okay. So that's what I was thinking about. And then like just the darkness coming through the light, I just imagined like a hand going through. And then like I was talking about the chronological clock, that's why I said the hour, the second, minute, hour, with the hands of time. And then still thinking about ultrasound, because that was very interesting to me, just to even think about like sound being light and light being sound, and then part of our senses as well. Just not even really thinking much into that. So that's why I started looking at the types of the light on the ultrasound. And I'm sorry, this camera keeps messing up. My phone possibly don't want me to make this video, but bear with me. So these are just the three types of lights on the ultrasound. So you got the completely black area that's on the screen. Then you have the dark gray area, and then like the shadow figure stuff. So then just thinking about that, this reminded me like a sonogram. Like when you're looking at the little sonogram, you know, you see the little area up there, and then the baby's usually like right there, and you see like little stuff, boom, like right in there. So then as I'm looking at that, I'm like, this also reminds me of a volcano in a way, like the bottom side of the volcano, and then when it erupts, it goes up here. Okay, so then just even looking at that, it broke down to three to me for the three chakras. The crown chakra, and this is just saying like the crown is just the integration of the of all of everything below it. So it's the all because it consists of everything before. Everything before it. And then the heart being the middle chakra, just being the bridge between the root chakra, the sacral, and the solar plexus, bringing the past to the present in such a sense. And then the root chakra is just being another source of the all because it supports everything above it. So it holds up everything above it, and then this is everything below it, and then the heart is the middle ground. So that's just the way I was looking at it like this now. So that's why I said this is also looks like volcano to me. And then just thinking about lava erupts on the land, and then it got this like little narrow path that goes to like little seas and oceans. And then I'm like, okay, so this is how we get our rock formation and new land from the volcano and what it decides to do when it erupts. So that's why I said, oh yeah, and then Earth's crust. Just going back into what I was saying, like right here with the recycled particles and being made in somebody else's image, just being made, like, just think about the story of Princess Sophia as well. But I said, okay, the Earth's crust is recycled and returned back to itself over time. Okay, yeah, so at the same time, like the magma is being, what I got? Oh, it's being removed from the inner earth. So pretty much the same time it's going out, it's filling right back up at the bottom. So it's like no matter what. And then you can even think about like if Earth ever loses its gravity, or how does Earth maintain its gravity, or its spirit shape is from gravity. I'm sorry, I just getting I'm trying to hurry up so it's not too much of a long video. But then anyways, thinking about the volcano, the then sonograph, that also to me looked like a bell. So I'm like, I don't want to draw too much over this stuff, so that's why I just came over here to the next page. So I'm like, okay, this looks like a bell in sound, and then at the same time that looks like the tonsils. Well, I didn't draw the tonsils in, but at the same time you got the tonsils and then the uvula in the back of the throat. And then if you think of the bell and the mouth and sound, I'm like, both are alarms, both generate frequencies and vibrations. And then humming is a way that you can naturally heal or, you know, sustain your nervous system or parts of your body. And then if you got a bell just ringing, it's been used for like healing vibrations and things like that. So like now my mind just going to all this fun stuff, like comparing now the mouth to the bell, and that's the tongue, and that's the lips. And that's why I said, okay, yeah, humming is like ringing an inner bell. And let's see, in the throat. Okay, I already said that. And then this is just a sword going through the bell and the mouth. Just indicating that words are a double-edged sword that can both bring life to or kill a spirit. And the attention comes from the bridges. And the bridges in this case is just what I just read on this page. It's just the heart and the crown. So intuition and logic, reasoning and logic. When you say something, like, are you saying it to purposely hurt somebody, or what you're saying may hurt, but will it help them in a way, or are you just saying it just to be mean? So that's where intention comes in. And then I'm just thinking about all the things that bells are, how bells used to, you know, in a way, monitor or announce time, like when you hear like the church bells going off every hour and you hear like 30 rings in between or 24 sometimes depending on the hour. But anyways, you hear like the little rings between the bells, or when we were in school the bells would let us know like when the hour, when we were getting out of class. Okay, yeah, so intention is what gives power to your words, so make what you say so. And then bells is what I said, a healing frequency, announce time, to signal or call. And just thinking about like people old school, like, oh, I'm gonna give them a bell, and just like talking about give them a phone call or call them up. And then I said the mind can become a prison of calcified rocks if you don't use your brain, and so to say, or just like how you can develop like throat stones, or just a dry throat, dry land if you don't speak up or speak your truth. And then I don't know why I did this, but what's interesting to me is that, okay, I'll just show you what I did. So, okay, obviously I wrote down A to Z, right? And then thinking about X and Y as the parents in the alphabet would make W and Z the grandparents in the alphabet. So it's like, okay, everything after the parents is a generation, or a generation. So that's how I was looking at it. So the parents, so obviously we know the grandparents came first. The grandparents is how the parents came to be. So that's the way I'm looking at it, right? Boom. So then with the parents, boom, boom, boom. So that would make V and A linked, how X and Y is linked, and how these two is linked. So that's the logic I'm looking at like this. So this is how I compared them all up with the letters. So A, V, B, U, C, T, D, S. And as you can see, those they start to repeat. So this is interesting to me. So then, of course, I wrote down the numeric values. So my first pair is A and V. V is the 22nd letter of the alphabet. 2 and 2 is 4. A is number 1. So then multiplication from Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally. Multiplication will come before math. So this is just me messing around in my head. So this is why I said 1 times 4 equals 4. And then just to add it, 1 plus 4 equals 5. So I did the same thing for all 12 pairs that I made down here. And then this is X and Y. Sorry, what I got? Yeah, X, Y, W, Z. So I did those separate, but then this gives me 12 pairs of generations, however you want to look at it. So then I multiply each, and then I added. So what was interesting to me, all the addition for the pairs equals 5. So that tells me that 5 has a very important frequency in this earth, like with letters, rhythm, vibration. That 5 is a whole frequency on its own. But I'm looking more into that, which I kind of know, but I always like to be for sure. So then multiplication picked up a pattern, and then this is just numbering, just showing how many rows or letters that I use. So this is A to L. A to L. And then so you see how it repeats, right? So it's A, B, C, D as far as numeric value. E, F, G, H, I, then goes back to A, B, C. But these are just all the pairs right here. And I just wrote down a numeric value. Boom. So then I noticed like it repeats itself, like that's kind of cool. And then even up here, how it starts off, the first is 4. 1 times 4, then you got 4, 6, 6, 4, 9, 3, 4, 3, 9, 4, 6, 6. So that 4, 6, 6 repeats at the beginning and at the end. So I'm like, I thought that was interesting too. I'm not sure what all of that means, but I'm sure something probably cool AF. Didn't mean for this video to be this long, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw it on CapCut so I can get all my parts together. Hope everybody have a great day today. I'm about to get mine started. So excited just to see what this stuff means. Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe.